Hello guys, in the last video we have seen short circuit operators. With the short circuit operators overall tokens part is completed. We are discussing language fundamentals part. Inside the language fundamentals part, here we are having tokens, next one is data types, next one is typecasting, next one is Java statements and arrays. Anyway, arrays topic we will discuss there after the object orientation, not immediately. Again in tokens we have seen already 4 topics. What are the 4 topics we have seen there in the case of these tokens? No, first one is identifiers, next one is literals, keywords and result words, and next one is which one? Operators. So up to operators we completed, means that tokens part is completed. Now the second topic in language fundamentals is which one? Data types. Data types is the second topic. Next topic here. What exactly the purpose of the data types? What is the need to use data types in our Java applications? Right sir, first of all I am telling one point here. Java is strictly a typed programming language. Java is strictly a typed programming language. What is the meaning of this typed programming language? What exactly the meaning of this typed programming language? Wherein Java applications, before representing data, first we have to specify which type of data we are representing. Understand it clearly? Java is strictly a typed programming language. Good. Where in Java applications, before representing data, first we have to specify which type of data we are representing. This is what exactly the meaning of which one? Typed programming language. Example I am telling them. Okay, A is equal to 10. This is invalid in the case of Java. This is invalid in the case of Java. Into A is equal to 10. This is valid in Java. And into A semicolon A is equal to 10 now. Again this is valid in Java. 3 examples I have given there. Try to recognize this. A is equal to 10 without specifying any type of. If you declare the data in Java, that is invalid. Okay. If you provide the data, 10 data after declaration of the type, after providing the type, then it is valid. Into A semicolon A is equal to 10, it is also be valid. Why? Because first we confirm a type, no, then after that we are representing the data. So the point is which one? Java is strictly a typed programming language, wherein Java applications before representing data, we have to specify which type of data we are representing. Exactly in this context, to specify the type of data before representation, in this context to specify type of data before representation, we must use data types. We must use which one there? Data types. That is what exactly the purpose of which one there? No, data types. Java is strictly a typed programming language, wherein Java applications before representing data, first we have to specify which type of data we are representing. In this context, to specify the type of data before representation, we have to use which one? Data types. Examples are given. A is equal to 10 is invalid. Into A is equal to 10 means that first we declare the type, after that we are representing the data, that is valid. Next one, into A semicolon A is equal to 10. Here also the same scenario is going on. First we declare the data, we represented the type, after that only we provided data. So this is invalid clearly. Good sir, it's okay. What are the various benefits here we are able to get from these data types now? If you are getting benefits from the data types, that means advantages of data types. If you observe there, here 2 advantages here we are able to get. What are the 2 advantages now? First one is we are able to identify data. We are able to identify memory size to store data on the basis of the data types. We are able to identify memory size to store data on the basis of the data types. Next one, second advantage is which one? We are able to identify range values to assign to the variables. We are able to identify range values to assign to the variables. We are able to identify memory size to store data on the basis of the data types, and we are able to identify range values to assign to the variables. Let's say for example, int a is equal to 10 for example. Now what is going on here? First we confirmed a type is which one? Int. So it able to store only integer data. Oh, 10 is a integer data. It's okay. But here my advantage is which one there? On the basis of the int data type, I can understand 4 bytes of memory is assigned for this a variable. Let's say for example, after that, let's say for example, short s is equal to 22. I have taken care. That's fine. Now here my type is which one? Data type is which one? Short. So s variable type is which one? Short. So s variable is able to allow only short values here. Now here my memory calculation is which one? On the basis of the short data type, I can conclude 2 bytes of memory is assigned for this s variable. So on the basis of the data type only, I can identify sizes of the data. Memory sizes I can identify clearly. This is one point. And second advantage is which one there? We are able to identify range values to assign to the variables. It's okay. Range values in the sense which one? For example, byte b is equal to 130. Is it possible? Byte b is equal to 130. Is it possible? No, this is not possible. Invalid. Why sir? Why it is invalid here now? Byte data type is having range. What is the range here now? Minus 128 to plus 127. Only between these values only we have to assign to the byte variable. So b variable is available. For this b variable, which range of values we are going to assign? That is totally depending on which one there no data type here. So because of this reason, data types are able to provide. Data types are giving clarity for us which range of values we are going to be assigned to the respective variables. This is what exactly the other advantage of which one can know data types clearly. Finally, what exactly the purpose of these data types are given? Java is strictly a typed programming language, wherein Java applications before representing data, first we have to specify which type of data we are representing. In this context, to specify the type of data before representation, we must use which one their data types. Examples are given there. Next one, what are the advantages of these data types? No, two advantages are available for our data types. Okay? The first one is which one? We are able to identify memory size to store data on the basis of the data types, and we are able to identify range values to assign to the variables. What exactly the range values we are going to be assigned to the variables, that one also we are able to identify on the basis of the data types. That's okay, fine. Next one is which one? To prepare Java applications, what exactly the data types are available? To prepare Java applications, Java has provided a set of data types here. What are the various data types now? In Java, all the data types are divided into two types. What are the two types of data types now? First one is primitive data types or primary data types. Primitive data types or primary data types or system defined data types. Okay, fine. Second one is which one? User defined data types or secondary data types. Good, sir. Under this user defined data types here, what are the various types here we are able to get? If we come for the user defined data types now, all classes, abstract classes, interfaces and so on, all these are come under which one? They know user defined data types. Of course, arrays. All classes, abstract classes, interfaces and user defined, that means arrays, all are come under which one? There user defined data types. Next one is primitive data types are again divided into two types. What are the two types of this primitive data types now? First one is numeric data types. First one is numeric data types and second one is non-numeric data types. Non-numeric data types. Under these non-numeric data types, which data types are existed here? We can understand like char, Then after that boolean, these are come under these non-numeric data types. That's fine. If you come for these numeric data types, no, under these numeric data types again 2 more data types are available. First one is which one? Integral or integer. Integral or integer data types. And second one is which one? Non-integral, non-integer data types. Non-integral data types. Integral data types and non-integral data types. Under these non-integral data types, which data types are available? Float and double data types are existed. If you come for this integral or integer data types now, byte data type is existed. Next one is short data type is existed. Next one is int data type is existed. Next one is long data type is existed. These are overall data types under which one there? No, primitive data types or numeric or integral data types. Let us come for the conclusion here. Overall 2 types of data types are available. First of all, primitive data types and user defined data types. Under primitive data types again 2 types are available, numeric data types and non-numeric data types. Under numeric data types again 2 types are available, integral or integer data types. Another one is which one? Non-integral data types. Under this integral or integer data types, no, like 4 data types are existed: byte, short, int, long. Under this non-integral data types here, float to double, these 2 data types are existed. Under non-numeric data types again 2 data types are available, char and boolean. Under user defined data types here we are having all classes, abstract classes, interfaces, arrays and so on. These many data types are existed. For example, if you come for these data types here we have to go for memory sizes now. In Java is a statically typed programming language. At compilation itself type must be provided here. Moreover, so in the case of this Java, fixed memory allocations are available for primitive data types, but variable memory allocation is available for the user defined data types. We can't decide what exactly the size of the data for the user defined data type, but we can decide what exactly the size for the data type in the case of these primitive data types. If you observe these types now, byte data type will take which one here? 1 byte of memory. Short will take 2 bytes of memory. Next one, int will take overall 4 bytes of memory. Next one, long will take 8 bytes of memory. Long will take 8 bytes of memory. These are about clearly integral or integer data types now. Next one is float data type will take 4 bytes of memory, and double will take 8 bytes of memory. Good. Then after that, char will take 2 bytes of memory, and boolean will take 1 bit, not much more. Then what about the sizes now? Memory sizes for these user defined data types here now. Right sir, I am giving clarity there clearly. No fixed memory allocations for the data. The size of the data is totally depending on the volume of the data, depending on the data size, depending on the data at runtime. That's it. Right sir, no fixed memory allocations for the data in user defined data type. No fixed memory allocations for the user defined data types. The size of the data is totally depending on the data at runtime. It's okay, fine. This is about our clearly the memory sizes for each and every data type. Next one is which one? Then after that, what are the default values for each and every data type? You have to identify that. For byte data type, default value is 0. For short data type 0, and for int data type again here it is which one? 0, and for long data type it will be like which one here? No, 0 we are getting there. Now if we come for this float data types now, the default values are which one? For float data type the default value is 0.0f, and the default value for double is which one here? No, 0.0. Right sir. The default values for character is which one here? Single space is a default value. Okay. Then the default value for boolean data type is which one here? No, false. False is the default value for this boolean data type. Next one is the default value for user defined data type is which one? The default value for the user defined data types is null. The default value for user defined data types is which one? Null. Null is the default value for which one? User defined data types clearly. So these are overall the default values and as well as sizes here. If you observe clearly, if you go for this byte data type, 1 byte of memory, 0 is the default value. Short, 2 bytes of memory, 0 is the default value. Int, 4 bytes of memory, 0 is the default value. Long, 8 bytes of memory, 0 is the default value. If you go for non-integral data types here, float, 4 bytes of memory and 0.0f is the default value. Double, 8 bytes of memory, 0.0 is the default value. For non-numeric data types now, char, 2 bytes of memory and single space is the default value. For boolean, 1 bit false is the default value. In the case of user defined data types or secondary data types, there no fixed memory allocation is available for user defined data types. It's totally depending on the how much data here we represented at a runtime here. On the basis of that only here we are able to get it. Next one is the default value. The default value for the user defined data type is which one here? Null. The default value user defined data type is which one? Null. These are what exactly the meaning of which one here? Data types. That means data types and its classification clearly.